I guess this is part of Biden's Build Back Better program. So for the last 2 weeks, there has been work being done on about a 3-mile stretch of road here in our community. And they're blocking one lane of traffic for about a mile, sometimes a little more than a mile. So it takes forever to get through here. By the time the traffic from one end comes up over a mile and then they turn the sign around for us, some people wait up to 7 minutes before we can go. So, hey, I only waited 2 minutes today and I'm headed off. It has hurt our business at the hardware store because people just don't want to fight this and sit here in traffic for 7 minutes to go 1 mile to get to the hardware store. So the first thing they did was came through and patched all the spots here in the road that were bad. And now it looks like they are milling the pavement up, and then I guess they're going to resurface the entire road. And we still have traffic delays here in Ridge. The milling process, I won't say it's complete for the entire road, but it looks like they are starting to put new pavement down today. I know the southern portion of this road, as of yesterday evening at 4 o'clock, had still not been milled up. So I guess they're just going to start paving. Maybe there's a crew down further south milling today. I don't know. I doubt. I don't know. We'll see. But we have to wait a minimum. Well, I say a minimum of 5 minutes. I'm only waiting 2 minutes today. But some people are waiting up to 10 minutes to get through here. So today wasn't too bad. And it looks like, yes, they are doing some milling today. Here is the milling machine right here. Hey, it looks like I may have missed a place. When I planted these beans in the 15-inch rows, there's that pass right there that does not have any beans planted between the rows. But the rest of it doesn't look too bad, actually, in my humble opinion. Well, we got a little close right here. But next to the trees, right in this corner, I don't get a good signal. And so I couldn't stay right in between the other rows when I double planted these. And here's another look of the spot that I missed. Don't know how I quite missed that. So what I'm doing this morning is putting some glyphosate on these beans to kill any weeds and grass and volunteer wheat that is coming up. So since these are planted in 15-inch rows, my tires are just a little bit wider than 15 inches. So I'm going at this at an angle, thinking that maybe I won't run over as many soybeans versus going straight. And if I hit a row just perfect, I'm going to run over that row completely with the tire all the way down the field, and that row is probably not going to bounce back. Versus going at an angle, you know, I won't be knocking down or running over as many soybeans. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. Sounds good in my mind. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Huh. I don't know. I had wanted to spray these soybeans yesterday, but we had a little over ½ inch of rain early yesterday morning. A thunderstorm rolled through. We were not expecting it. At least I wasn't expecting it. So I get up this morning ready to spray beans, and the wind is blowing just a little more than I would like it to blow for spraying. So I have slowed my speed down at about 5 miles an hour. So that reduces the pressure of the volume of water that I'm putting out there. I'm still putting 15 gallons per acre, but it's at a lower pressure, so a little bit larger droplet size, so the wind doesn't carry it as far as if it was a higher pressure and a smaller droplet size of that water and chemical going down to the plants. And I want to get this done today because I'm hoping to go to a Trump rally tomorrow. Hold on while I turn around. And so tomorrow is Wednesday, July 31st. I thought I saw a deer over there. And my dear President Trump is doing a rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So that's only a 3-hour drive for me. So that's probably about the closest that he is going to get to me as far as doing a rally. Now, when he becomes president and he is in the White House, that's only an hour and 35 minutes. I can be on the front steps of the White House. So he will be closer to me then, but the chances of me being able to see him at the White House are 0 to -0. So I'm going to try to get to the rally tomorrow. And then there's a chance of rain, I believe, tomorrow and Thursday. So I want to go ahead and get these beans sprayed today. As I said, I don't like spraying when the wind is up this high. I know a lot of guys do it. I don't have the acreage to get over that a lot of the other guys do, so they have to spray in the when wind is at 10 miles an hour. And that's about where we are today. Actually, I think I can tell you here. Let's pull up the farm. We are 6.7 miles to the hour, 6.7 miles per hour out of the southwest. We've had a peak of 19.5, but that was about 6 o'clock this morning when I looked. So, I mean, that's not that bad. It seems like it's blowing a little bit more than that. So, yeah, 6.5 isn't too bad. It's a little bit harder to get lined up and judge these rows when you're going at a diagonal like this. I can judge it pretty quickly where I turn around when I'm going straight up and down, but the diagonal part is a little more difficult. So I am excited about the Trump rally tomorrow. I have asked Sexy Rooster to go along with me. He's not sure he has enough leave. He has a vacation scheduled in September. Actually, he and I will be together on a vacation in September, so he needs to make sure he has enough time for that vacation. So I'm waiting to hear back from him today to see if he can go with me tomorrow. He really wants to go, but he may not have enough leave time. He had to take some leave earlier this year for some health issues that he was dealing with. So fingers crossed that he can make it happen. Otherwise, I'll just go by myself. So it will be interesting to hear what Trump has to say about the coup against Biden. And yet, the Republicans, the conservatives, are the ones who are a threat to democracy. But yet, it's the Democrats who took out the man that, how many, 14 million people voted for in the primaries, which doesn't sound like a whole lot. It's not nearly the 81 million, yeah, right, that voted for him 3.5 years ago. So yeah, you go to the primaries, you cast your vote for the guy that you want to run for the presidency, and you think all is good, and then, oh, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, no thank you, ma'am. The powers that be in the Democratic Party say, oh, this ain't looking good. Biden's going to lose. We can't keep him in there. We got to pull him out, even though 14 million people voted for him to be in there. But I think it's quite funny. So everything I'm reading now, and Fox News alluded to it yesterday on their newscast, is that Obama is behind, well, we already know Obama is behind the scenes pulling the strings of the puppet, who is houseplant, nursing home Joe, whatever you want to call him. And so the story now is that Obama went to Biden and said, hey, if you don't drop out of the race, we're going to pull the impeachment thing on you, and we're going to show that you're senile, and we'll impeach you from office. And I guess Biden said, okay, I'm going to drop out, but I'm endorsing camel toes to take my place. We know that Obama did not want that, but it kind of put him between a rock and a hard place, and that's why it took him, a week to come out and endorse camel toes, and because he probably could not figure out a way at that point to get his man in there. Politics are really dirty. I would love for all of this to come out, everything that took place behind the scenes. I would like for a key person that was involved to write a book, a year from now, and tell us how all this would happen. But they're not going to do that. The Democrats are real good about keeping secrets and not telling on themselves. I always thought there was going to be a tell-all book about the Obama years and all the stuff he was doing behind the scenes while he was president, but that never came out, because I'm sure he was doing a lot of shady stuff behind the scenes. And oh my God, what Biden is trying to do with the Supreme Court now, well, he's a lame duck president. Here we've had the Supreme Court's functioning properly for the last 200 years, and now because they are not making decisions the way the Democrats want them to make decisions, oh, well, now we have to change the rules of the game. That's how those demon rats work. If they can't win fairly, which they can't, then they're going to cheat and steal and do everything else they can to win. So yeah, let's change the rules of the game now. People who can't see this, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. You need to stop watching that CNN and MSNBC crap and MSDNC. I'm sorry. You need to stop reading the New York Times and the Washington Post and wake up and see what is going on around you. I try to look at a lot of different news sources just so I know what the other side is saying. I'm not a one news source person. I read a lot of news sources, and I can't always trust Fox News either. I definitely don't trust the polling that everyone is putting out there now that is leading you to believe that camel toes is the one leading right now. Although Laura Ingraham last night on Fox News, she interviewed Trump, and she did put up the poll average. I think it was the average of the top polls, and it showed, what she showed anyway, was that before Biden dropped out of the race, Trump was leading nationally by 1.5%. The latest average polling shows that Trump is leading by 1.7%. So he's picked up 0.2%. So that's good news. But if you only listen to the mainstream media, you would think camel toes is the best thing since sliced bread. And the other interesting thing that Trump pointed out last night in that interview, he was talking about Cackle's cackle, the way Camel Toes, Kamala, whatever her name is, how she laughs. And he says, if you notice, you don't hear her laugh anymore, because he claims that her advisors have told her do not laugh because she's getting made fun of so badly over that laugh that she has, and laughing at the most inopportune times. So I've got to kind of start noticing that now to see if that is the case. Although I can't stand to watch her. I can't stand to see her give a speech. I think she had 1,000 people at a rally yesterday in a high school gymnasium somewhere. Oh, and so the other thing, talking about her name. Oh my God. The panel on CNN yesterday evening had a meltdown because one of their so-called Republican or conservative panelists called hold it. Now I don't even know how to say her name. Kamala. So this panelist called her by Kamala and not Kamala. And oh my God, the other panelist, one of the other panelists just went off on him and said, oh my God, how dare you not call her by her proper name. And then, of course, they're talking about the DEI, that she's a DEI hire. Well, Biden admitted it when he picked her as the vice president, that he only picked her because she was a woman. So, yes, that is a DEI hire. Well, this liberal panelist just went off on the conservative panelist saying, you cannot do that. That is just bigoted, and I'm sure racist was thrown in there as well, and a few other words. And when our own president cannot pronounce his vice president's name correctly, how the hell am I supposed to remember how to pronounce it? And the conservative panelist admitted, he said, I'm sorry, I didn't do that on purpose. It was a mistake. He said, I had no ill will intent over it. But, oh my gosh, that panelist, the liberal panelist did not want anything to do with the conservative guy. Wow. They're just crazy. But what did Biden say in his interview yesterday? Yes, I'm just rambling. That laugh is the laugh of a mental person. God help us if we have 4 years of Cackles, Camel Toes, Kamala, however you say her name. You saw me working on the cylinder for the forklift I have at the store. Well, I finally had to admit defeat. So we have a local company in our county that works on forklifts. That's all he does is repairs forklifts. I think he has a few sales as well. I've always seen his sign. I had never stopped in there to have him do any work for me or order any parts, just because I hadn't needed to. So I had seen the sign for years, so I finally stopped in there and I said, hey, can you help me out? Gave him the details. Left the cylinder there. He calls me back the next day. He said, based on the information that you have given me, I do not see this particular cylinder in the parts manual for Yale. So he asked me to go back to the forklift, find some numbers on the side shift part of the forklift to help him better find the seal kit for this cylinder. So I went back and I thought I had found the numbers he was looking for. I sent the pictures to him. He said, nope, that's not it. So I called him and I said, I'm not seeing what you're asking for here. He said, well, my guess is This is an aftermarket, no-name side shift attachment for the forklift. He said the cylinder that Yale shows in their book is a different type of cylinder. I think I mentioned that in the video earlier. It was a cylinder where the piston comes out of both sides of the cylinder, and mine is not that. And he said based on this weld on here, he said you'd have to break that weld in order to pull that cylinder apart to replace the seals. And he says, I've never seen one like that before. And I said, you know, I had not either. And he needed to do that in order to get all of the specs to see if he could find a seal to go in there. I said, look, do you have access to purchasing new cylinders that you can match this up and just get me a new one? He said, yes, I can do that. So that's where we are now. That was Friday last week. I have not heard from him. This is Tuesday now. So I've not heard from him since then. But yes, I gave him the okay to just purchase a new one so we can get get this thing back together. So in the meantime, before I left there last week, I said, hey, have you got some plugs to put in the lines that I have there? So I said we can continue to use the forklift. We don't need the side shift on there. So he went on his service truck and pulled out 2 plugs and handed them to me. And he said, here you go. And I pulled some money out of my pocket. I said, hey, what do I owe you for these? He said, don't worry about it. He said, we're good on that. Wow, not everybody does that. You know, they were probably $3 or $4 plugs, easily 2 of them, so $6 or $8. Now, yeah, he'll make it up in the new cylinder that he's going to sell me. But just a great guy. He knows his stuff, what he's dealing with. Now I can't remember the name. Hold on, let me look it up so I can tell you. Okay, Lift Plus LLC in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Billy is the owner, apparently. He's the one that does it all. So yeah, Billy at Lift Plus LLC in Mechanicsville for all of your forklift needs and repairs. I was very pleased because he spent a lot of time researching this thing and trying to find that seal kit for me, and just couldn't do it. So hopefully he's able to find a cylinder that matches up to put on there, and we can get this thing back going. The side shift, it's nice to have. It's not a necessity. We can still use the forklift. I put the plugs on the lines. You know, we got a delivery yesterday. They used the forklift without an issue. But in certain situations, especially unloading wood pellets and mulch, because they really jam those pallets tight on those trucks, and it doesn't take much to break a bag open of wood pellets or mulch. So when we go in there, we like to slide that pallet away from the other one, at least I do, before pulling it off the truck to prevent any breakage. So yes, the side shift does come in handy for unloading those trucks, but we can get away without it if we don't get a cylinder on there. But hopefully he can come through for me and find one. I never thought I would be sitting in traffic in Ridge, but here it is. Rush hour traffic, and here we are sitting. You can see the line of cars behind me. Some people are turning around. They don't want to sit in line. They should be wrapping this up for the day. There's another car turning around. That's like the 3rd one that has turned around, and this is why we're not doing so well at the hardware store the last couple of weeks, because people they don't want to wait in this traffic. And I mean, not that it's traffic, you're just waiting here to go, and it's taking anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes here because they have the lane blocked for about 3 miles. So we have to wait here for the people down the road 3 miles below us to come all the way up, and then all the roads to empty out from there, and then it's our turn. The only other time we see traffic backed up like this is on a holiday weekend when the park fills up, but it doesn't back up this far. Wow, we've got a lot of cars behind us. Everybody getting off work, coming home, I guess. And there's at least a half a dozen cars in front of me.